It was 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. The Grand Riverside shopping mall was buzzing with wealthy shoppers carrying designer bags. Suddenly, a young woman in torn, dirty clothes walked through the automatic glass doors. Her name was Mira. Mira's hair was tangled and unwashed. Her feet were bare, covered in dust. In her hands, she clutched a crumpled plastic bag. The moment she stepped inside, conversations stopped. Heads turned, noses wrinkled in disgust. The mall had marble floors that sparkled under crystal chandeliers. Expensive perfume stores, jewelry shops, and designer boutiques lined both sides. And right in the middle of this luxury walked Mira, looking like she hadn't bathed in days. Security guard Ramesh immediately noticed her. His hand went to his walkie-talkie. Store managers peeked out from their shops, whispering to each other. Customers pulled their children closer and moved away, but Mira kept walking forward, slowly, looking at each store as if searching for something specific. Mira stopped in front of Pearl and Diamonds, the most expensive jewelry store in the mall. The store was owned by a woman named Mrs. Verma, who was known for being extremely proud of her exclusive clientele. Mira stood outside the glass door, staring at the glittering necklaces and rings displayed inside. Inside the store, Mrs. Verma's assistant, Priya, saw Mira and immediately became alarmed. "Ma'am! Ma'am!" Priya called out to Mrs. Verma, who was showing a diamond set to a wealthy customer. "Look outside! There's a beggar woman staring into our store!" Mrs. Verma looked up, saw Mira, and her face twisted with anger. "What? How did security even allow her inside the mall?" She excused herself from her customer and marched toward the door. Before Mira could even touch the door handle, Mrs. Verma pushed it open from inside and stood blocking the entrance. "Hey, you! What do you think you're doing here?" Mrs. Verma shouted. "This is not a place for people like you. Go away! Shoo!" Mira spoke softly. "Madam, I don't want to hear anything," Mrs. Verma interrupted. "You're scaring away my customers. Look at yourself. You smell terrible. Get out of here right now or I'll call security." By now, a crowd had gathered. Other shoppers stopped to watch the scene. Some recorded videos on their phones. Others made disgusted faces and commented loudly. "These beggars have no shame," one woman said. "The mall should have better security," another man added. Mira's eyes filled with tears, but she tried again. "Please, madam, if you could just listen." "Ramesh!" Mrs. Verma screamed, calling the security guard. "Come here right now and remove this woman!" Security guard Ramesh came running with two other guards. He looked at Mira and hesitated for a moment. Something in her eyes seemed different. Not like other beggars he'd seen before. But Mrs. Verma was shouting orders. "Throw her out! Immediately! She's disturbing my business!" Ramesh reached for Mira's arm, but she stepped back. "Sir, please, I'm not here to cause trouble. I just need to speak with—" "Come on, quietly leave," Ramesh said, trying to be gentle but firm. "This is not a place for you." "But sir, if you could just let me explain." Mrs. Verma had had enough. She walked up to Mira and actually pushed her backward. "I said get out!" Mira stumbled and fell on the marble floor. Her plastic bag opened and some old photographs scattered on the ground. The crowd gasped. Some people laughed. Others recorded more videos. "This is what happens when security is careless," Mrs. Verma announced loudly to everyone watching. "We pay premium rent here, and they let anyone walk in." Tears were now streaming down Mira's face. She slowly gathered her photographs from the floor. But as she was picking them up, one photo slid across the marble and stopped right at the feet of a man who had just arrived. This man was Mr. Kapoor, the mall manager. He bent down and picked up the photograph. The moment he looked at it, his face went pale. His hands started trembling. In the photograph was a young, beautiful woman in an expensive sari, standing next to an elderly man in front of a large building. The elderly man was cutting a ribbon. The sign on the building read, Riverside Shopping Mall, Grand Opening. Mr. Kapoor's voice shook as he asked, Where did you get this photograph? Mira looked up at him from the floor, still gathering her pictures. That's my grandfather, and that's me. 10 years ago. Your grandfather? Mr. Kapoor's voice was barely a whisper now. Your grandfather is Rajesh Kumar? The crowd went silent. Even Mrs. Verma stopped talking. Everyone knew that name. Rajesh Kumar was the founder and original owner of Riverside Shopping Mall. He had built it 20 years ago and made it the most prestigious shopping destination in the city. But he had died 5 years ago, and the mall had been sold to a big corporate company. Yes, Mira said quietly, standing up slowly. Rajesh Kumar was my grandfather. Mrs. Verma laughed nervously. Oh, please, this is clearly a lie. If you were Rajesh Kumar's granddaughter, why would you be dressed like this? Why would you be in this condition? But Mr. Kapoor was staring at Mira's face now, comparing it to the photograph. The resemblance was unmistakable. The same eyes, the same facial structure, just aged by hardship. Ma'am, Mr. Kapoor said to Mrs. Verma, I think you should stop talking. From her plastic bag, Mira pulled out another document. It was old, folded many times, but still intact. She handed it to Mr. Kapoor with shaking hands. Mr. Kapoor unfolded it carefully. It was a legal document. A will. Rajesh Kumar's will. His eyes scanned the pages quickly, and with each line he read, his face became more shocked. This can't be, he muttered. What is it? Mrs. Verma demanded, trying to look at the document. Mr. Kapoor looked at the crowd that had gathered. Then he looked at Mrs. Verma, then back at Mira. According to this will, Mr. Kapoor announced loudly, Rajesh Kumar did not fully sell this mall. He retained 40% ownership, which was to be passed to his granddaughter, Mira Kumar, on her 25th birthday. Silence. Complete silence. And according to the date on this document, Mr. Kapoor continued, Mira Kumar turned 25 years old yesterday. The crowd erupted in shocked whispers. Mrs. Verma's face turned white. But where have you been? Mr. Kapoor asked Mira gently. Why are you in this condition? Mira's voice broke as she explained. After my grandfather died, my uncle threw me out of the house. He wanted all the property for himself. He told everyone I had run away. I've been living on the streets for 5 years, doing small jobs, trying to survive. I didn't even know about this will until a lawyer found me last week. He had been searching for me for years. She pulled out another paper, a lawyer's visiting card, and a letter confirming her identity and the will's authenticity. I came here today to see the mall my grandfather built, to feel close to him again, and to claim what is legally mine. But I wanted to see it first, to see if the values my grandfather built this place on were still alive. She looked directly at Mrs. Verma. My grandfather always said, in my mall, everyone is welcome. Rich or poor, everyone deserves respect. Because we never know someone's story by looking at their clothes. The crowd was completely silent now. Many people who had laughed earlier now looked ashamed. Those who had recorded videos were quietly deleting them. Mrs. Verma tried to speak. Look, Miss Mira, I didn't know I was just... You were just judging me, Mira said firmly, her voice stronger now, without knowing anything about me, without asking, without showing even basic human decency. Mr. Kapoor stepped forward. Miss Mira, as the mall manager, I apologize deeply for what happened to you today. This should never have occurred. Then he turned to Mrs. Verma. Mrs. Verma, as per Mall Policy Section 12, any store owner who violates our code of conduct, especially regarding customer dignity, can have their lease terminated. Mrs. Verma gasped. But, sir... However, Mira interrupted softly, That decision is now partially mine to make, isn't it? Since I own 40% of this mall. Everyone held their breath. Mira looked at Mrs. Verma for a long moment. Then she said, I don't want to ruin your business, Mrs. Verma, but I want you to understand something. Tomorrow, I could be dressed in expensive clothes and jewelry. Would you treat me differently then? Would you respect me then? Mrs. Verma's eyes filled with tears. She nodded, ashamed. That's the problem, Mira continued. Respect shouldn't depend on clothing or wealth. It should be given to every human being, regardless of how they look. She turned to Ramesh, the security guard who had hesitated. You, sir, I saw the kindness in your eyes even when you were asked to remove me. Thank you for that hesitation. It meant more than you know. Then Mira addressed the entire crowd. My grandfather built this mall not just as a business, but as a community space. A place where everyone should feel welcome. I intend to honor that vision. She looked back at Mr. Kapoor. I'll be back tomorrow with my lawyer to formalize everything. But today, I just wanted to see if my grandfather's dream was still alive here. She picked up her plastic bag and started walking toward the exit. The crowd parted silently, creating a path for her. As she reached the door, she turned back one last time. Mrs. Verma, you can keep your store, but I hope you've learned something today. We all have. And with that, Mira walked out of the mall. The automatic doors closed behind her, and for a full minute, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Then slowly, Ramesh said to no one in particular, We should never judge a book by its cover. Mrs. Verma collapsed onto a bench, her hands covering her face. The videos that some people had recorded, they went viral, but not in the way anyone expected. They became a powerful reminder about dignity, respect, and how we treat people we consider beneath us. And the very next day, when Mira returned to the mall, this time with her lawyer and proper clothes, the same people who had mocked her could barely look her in the eye. But Mira? She greeted every single one of them with respect, because she knew what it was like to be on the other side. Friends, today's story ends here. If this story touched your heart, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Write respect in the comments if you believe everyone deserves dignity, regardless of how they look. Also, share from where you're watching this video. Remember, we never truly know someone's story until we take the time to listen.